there is an yeast growing over your head called malassezia, and that's what causing you dandruff. Malassezia is an yeast that grows even on a healthy scalp. So how it causes dandruff? Actually, dandruff will happen to every individual. When it is becoming severe, we call it as a disease, or we consider it as an ill health or unhealthy situation. Or when it is affecting your lifestyle, when it is affecting your quality of life, we say he is having issue with dandruff. Or else it's fine, you don't see the flakes. And so how it happens, how we have this dandruff issue, and what is the pathogenesis of this disease? As I told, it is present, this yeast, that which is growing over the scalp, is common for everyone. It grows in even every individual, everyone. So they eat our sebum. They have normal living habitat over our scalp. They eat the sebum, and their byproducts, their excreta, is released over our scalp. And this excreta or their byproduct is little bit of irritant for our scalp. They try to remove it out by creating different kinds of flakes over the head, and that is what is called as dandruff. So it is happening for every individual. So here the problem is, if it is becoming more frequent, or when the rate is very severe, we will have many number of flakes. And as I told, it's irritant, so there will be inflammatory signs shown over the scalp. So we will be having itching, pain, irritations will be happening over the scalp. Let's see how it is becoming a disease. As I told, this is an yeast that is growing over the scalp. So when they are having a better ecosystem to reproduce more, the ratio of this yeast will be higher than the normal rate. So when they are growing more than the normal rate, there will be more number of excreta or the byproduct that makes more skin irritant. That will give you more number of flakes, and you are infected. We can say that you are infected with the yeast. So how it is growing more is not just because of the ecosystem, like when it is not clean and tidy. Like clean and tidy doesn't mean that you need to have like different kinds of chemical to wash your hair. I need like normal cleans. So other than that, if they are getting more food, they grow more. So here, as I told, the sebum is their food, so they reproduce more, and you are getting infected. So that's the second thing. So one is like when there is an habitat. The other thing when it is getting a good food. And more than that, the other way we can say, when our skin, let's say they are not growing much, like the ratio is fine, yeast ratio is fine over the scalp. It is very similar to that of, like I can say, like a little bit more than the healthy skin, but a little bit. And the ecosystem is not that like untidy, and if they are not getting too much of food, still, let's say if the skin is more sensitive, for this excreta or byproduct, the skin will choose like the allergic response that we have. Like it will give more number of flakes. It's more inflammatory response, and we feel like we are infected. But it is actually not because of the overgrowth of the yeast, but here it is because of the inflammatory or like allergic response of the skin. So I can say, when you are treating or when you are understanding the dandruff, it is not just about this yeast, it is also about our skin, our metabolism. So that's why when we are treating a dandruff, we need to understand what is the metabolism of this individual, what is happening with this individual, what is the habit of this individual, what he eats, and these kind of things should be known when we are treating the dandruff. So basically in Ayurveda, I can say, like, we focus all these kind of things. So when somebody is coming to my clinic with the dandruff, I will be focusing his gut. Like if his gut is not fine, his metabolism is not good. So when his metabolism is not good, definitely he will be feeding the yeast with maybe increased number of sebum, and that will reproduce a good number of yeast that will make you infected. Or the skin is allergic, like when our gut is not fine, it will be shown in our skin. Like we will have immunological response, like we will have immunological pathologies happening over the skin as well. So I will be focusing his gut. The other thing, like I will be focusing over the tidiness of the hair or the scalp. Like I will ask them to wash their hair properly. And also, if the person is using a big number of chemicals or a huge chemicals over the scalp for cleansing, for conditioning or whatever it is, if they're using big number of chemicals, like huge types of chemical, let's say kind of shampoos if they use over the scalp, actually there are different other microorganisms living over the scalp which control the growth of the yeast. They are coexisting over the scalp. So when we are using the chemicals, we are creating a dysbiosis on this ecosystem, and the organism which control the growth of the yeast also get affected by these chemicals. So here the control is gone, so the yeast may grow higher than the normal rate. So using different kinds of chemicals over the hair will also give you a dandruff. And also when you are washing your hair thoroughly with different kinds of shampoos and things, it again create dryness in your scalp that will produce a kind of dandruff or dry scalp, and it can later produce dandruff. So this is what I want to know. I'll talk to you about the dandruff.